for the people listening and watching. We went to Chasing Summer Music Festival. What was it, 2 years ago then? I guess it would have been 2018.
Yes.
Yeah. 2018. And we took a vehicle. We actually rented it. It was a Tesla Model X. Fucking sick. Really
So sick.
cool car.
Falcon doors.
Oh, man.
That was sick.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to On Your Mental. This is the podcast where we share candid, open, and vulnerable conversations between men, talking about things that maybe we wouldn't normally talk about on in our day-to-day lives. So, welcome back. Today's episode is sponsored by Burt's Bees. I'm making a clear point here. Burt's Bees is better than Chapstick Mint, for the record. I appreciate Jesse being on here last time, but Burt's Bees is best. So,
Bold statement.
and it's the only statement that matters. I have a couple things that we just want to get through before starting the episode here today. So, as of right now, we're at 95 subscribers, 95 big ones.
Very nice.
On the tube, on the YouTube. And once we hit 100, I'm planning on doing a little giveaway. And we're going to be giving away one of these mugs that both myself and my guest today have. It says On Your Mental on it. It's kind of cool. It's all right. But whoever is in the list of the first 100 people, I will be doing a giveaway at random to one of the people who are subscribed once we hit that point. So if you're watching this and you're not already subscribed and you'd like a mug, I'll mail it anywhere in the world. I'll send you this mug. But today on Your Mental, what we're going to be talking about is breakups and sort of how men process them, what we think about relationships after them. Just general outlook on the idea of breakups. And the person who I have with me to talk about breakups is my good friend Kabir Sandhu. give him the spin right there. this camera. Thanks, Kevs.
Oh, no, it's a pleasure.
Thanks for coming on to the show, man.
Of course.
Really appreciate you being here.
Skipping my workout for this. So,
Dude, me too, actually.
Really?
Which is really sad.
Yeah.
Scrap it?
Kind of my fault.
No, it's okay. It happened to land on a rest day, so I'm not like too hurt by it. But Kabir is incredibly fit. Really good stuff. But this son of a bitch, this guy takes fucking 2+ hours in the gym every single time. Well, but I guess it pays off. Doesn't even matter. It's absurd work ethic. And
Doesn't sound like me.
Doesn't sound like me. I don't know that guy. Catch him at oh my God, Smith machine for everything.
No comment. But yes.
Yeah. Anyways, the reason why I have Kabir to talk about breakups with me, oh, my shirt. The reason why I have Kabir to talk about breakups with me is both of us went through a breakup within the last year. And I think we both looked at it differently, or at least dealt with it differently. Mm-hmm. Kabir helped me quite a bit with how I dealt with mine. A couple other friends of ours also went through breakups. I feel like 2020 wasn't a great year for some relationships. I feel like a lot went through breakups.
Yeah.
But that being said, what I think Kabir has is a really good outlook on breakups, on relationships in general. Sometimes I like your outlook on it.
Thanks, man.
But
I mean, yeah, we're at opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
As we've talked about before.
And I think it's just it's a respect for the way that you look at it. That's what I like about it. I think you're a very real person in the way that you think about relationships. And we'll get into that.
Nice.
So
exciting stuff.
Exciting stuff. The question that I want to ask then. Oh, actually, one more thing before I forget, and I keep fucking forgetting to do this. If you're watching this and there's something you want to know about men, if there's a question that you have, something that you would like to be a topic, leave a comment. And then I'm more than happy to include that in an episode at some point. Anyways,
anything about men,
anything about men, whatever you want to know. Back to today's topic of breakups. Kabir, in your own experience then, what has breakups and heartbreak, or what have breakups and heartbreak done to you and maybe like affected your outlook on relationships as a whole?
I've been through 3 breakups.
The big 3, huh?
Big 3.
LeBron, Wade, Bosch.
Lowry, Pascal, Van Vliet. 3 breakups.
Reptiles out of here. 3 breakups, sorry.
I was going to pull around the hat and show them my Raptors hat.
Do it, man.
So yeah, 3 breakups. First one, messy. Last 2, fairly on the cleaner side compared to. But breakups they've kind of given me like a pessimistic view on relationships. So, I mean, when I've been in relationships and it's like with some of these serious relationships are with like the nicest people I know.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're like the nicest, like the most kind, generous people I've ever met. So when these things end, it kind of shows me that like if this can't last with like these people, saying, right? Yeah. Then how long are relationships supposed to last?
Right. I feel like what you're saying is like if you are with somebody who's already amazing, who is just generally and genuinely a really, really kind and nice person, and if you can't make that work, how are you going to make any work? Yeah. Is that kind of the way that you see it then? So it's like, why the fuck should I even try again?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, it gives me like a negative perspective, not negative per se, but it's like, I can't see end goals in relationships anymore because of that, I think.
Like at all? Like you think like you can't see?
So now like I'm stepping into relationships, I'm thinking, I'm kind of just going with the flow, right? So it's not like I'm looking to see, oh, maybe this is a person I'm going to get married to in the future.
Right.
Or I want to be like with this person for so many years, or I want to like set these goals to complete these with this person. It's now just like I want to go with the flow, see where it ends up. But in the back of my head, it's always like
there could be a breakup coming.
Yeah. I mean, no, in the back of my head, I'm like, there is going to be a breakup coming. And I'm thinking, and it's not really bothering me. It's just kind of set in my head now. Like at what point am I going to get bored, or is this going to start to go on the decline?
Interesting. So it was like having gone through 3 breakups with people that were long-term relationships. Now your outlook on a relationship is you're getting into this expecting a breakup at some point anyways.
Yes.
That's tough, man. That's tough. And that's tough for you. That's tough for the partner. Because that person is signing up for like a one-way deal here. You know what I mean?
And not enough for like they're signing their death certificate. I mean, both of ours. Yeah, no, it's like, it's rough to think of it in that way and it's hard to communicate that too to the other person, right?
Yeah. Because shit, if I got together with someone and they said to me like, hey, like I expect this to fail, like that's a hard thing to communicate, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's kind of like, well, what are we doing? Like, what's the point of it? So I get the idea of having a negative, pessimistic outlook on it. Yeah. It's sort of, you've said to me before, it's almost like having 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah. Like the past couple of relationships, and like go in thinking, so almost, the 1 foot, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, like always preparing myself to be mentally ready to begin that breakup, whether it's going to be me breaking up with the person, the other person breaking up with me. And then when it does happen, there's almost a little bit of relief, which is a little weird, but
yeah. Well, I'm thinking of a question right now, just based on everything that you said.
Hit me.
What is it about a breakup then that you don't want? But like the way that this sounds is like from surface level, you could hear this as, oh, you don't want to be in a relationship ever again. That's not what it is.
No.
To me, it's you don't want to go through more breakups.
Yes. Yeah. That's more so what it is in a sense. Like,
so what do you think it is about a breakup that's so difficult as a man? Or as yourself?
No. I mean, breakups they're just rough, man. Breakups are like, they're not something anyone wants to think about, first of all. And then when it does come, the person breaking up the other person has to think about planning what they're going to say and how they're going to say it, keeping the other person's feelings in check, and also your own, not being an asshole. Yeah. It's all these things that you got to think about.
It's hard, and there's no perfect way to do it. I don't
No,
think.
no,
Right?
there isn't. I've
Yeah.
tried.
Yeah. And you tried and it just doesn't ever
No, I
feel
mean,
but
I'm not an
good.
expert, but I've tried the
Yeah.
best way I can.
Yeah. Yeah. I from my own experience with my most recent breakup, then I've only been through 2 breakups. I've had 2 longer term relationships, and I wouldn't say either one was messy. The second one, though, the most recent one, has been hard, and it continues to be a little bit hard. I don't know, because I think I empathize with you in that idea of you're together with someone who's really amazing, right? It's not like there's a problem with the person or anything like that.
No.
It's just something about being in a relationship wasn't sitting well. At least for myself, it was something about being in a relationship wasn't sitting well, and it's like little things start bugging you sometimes,
Yeah,
and it's
more so
enough to
than
make
they
you
normally do.
than they should, right? And so it makes you think it would be better to just be out of it. But then it's like you're like best friends with this person for the time that you're with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you build a lot more than just a romantic relationship with them. It's a platonic one too underneath there somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing that for me has been really, really hard to be okay with leaving behind. Yeah, it's just tough. It's tough sometimes, and you go back and you think about it so many different ways. For me, going through a breakup, I don't know that it's given me a pessimistic view yet. We'll see how
You'll
I
get there,
feel
baby. You'll get there.
as time goes on. But it's definitely made me reconsider how I prioritize a relationship in my life. In the past, I've felt like I wanted to be in one. Like I felt like thinking back on my dating history, and you've known me all the way through high school. I guess we were only like friends outside of high school, but anyways.
How dare you? Yeah, no, you're right though.
Looking back at my dating history, it's like once I'd gotten out of my first relationship, there was a period of maybe 8 months to a year where I didn't date at all. And then I started dating around, and then it was like right away I was in the mindset of like looking for someone who I could make my next girlfriend. And I think what I've taken away from this breakup now is not to do that, not to rush yourself into something and just sort of let things come as they come, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
At the same time, I know I'm still processing my breakup at this point too. So it's like that in itself would be a reason for me to not look into anything else at this point.
Yeah. No, it's interesting you say that, because that's like, again, it's like the opposite for me, because I've never started dating someone and with the intention of in my head being like, oh, I'm gonna be going out with this person soon. It kind of just ends up becoming that.
Ends up becoming that
for me.
Yeah, for me it's like for me to even go on like a second or third date with someone, to me already in my head it's like there's a chance that this person is going to end up being my girlfriend. I don't know if I just get a good like read off of somebody. I mean,
it could be that.
Yeah.
Or I'm just not even reading into it at all.
Maybe.
Right?
It's the two sides.
I'm just trying to keep my distance in that sense.
But it's funny, like as different as our qualities are, I guess, in the way that we look at relationships and breakups, I try to learn from you in the things that you've done since then. Cause you're very realistic in how to process a breakup and just acknowledging the fact that you need to start moving on, that you need to recognize that the relationship is over at this point, and that you need to start looking ahead and looking at yourself and just dealing with the moment.
Yeah.
I think you're really, really good at that. And so thank you for doing that for me, at least teaching me to do that.
No, it's no problem. I mean, is it like you're talking about it like my way is the best way, but I mean, I know that you don't mean it that way, but when I kind of think about it myself, it almost seems a little unhealthy to me as well, because for one of those breakups, I was thinking that way. I was trying to trick my brain into thinking that way almost, where it's like this breakup's happening. Okay, I need to cut this person off, like cleanly, just for our both of our benefit. But I just felt like super cold at the time too.
And maybe even at that point, like you're not allowing yourself the time to grieve it.
You
know what I mean? Because you are losing something. You're losing a relationship, and you grieve in any loss, right? And losing a relationship is definitely one of those things. So you're right. Yeah. Like I don't think there is a best way to do it. I think everybody does things on their own, but you process things and you can learn things from how other people process things to make yours easier. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's important to have that balance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like for me, like I started like looking up shit online.
No, I feel like everybody
does, man. Everybody does, and like everybody has their own ways of getting through a breakup, and this will go into the like one of the other questions I wanted to ask you, which is like what you do to get through a breakup. But I'll maybe share some of what I've been doing.
Yes, please.
Obviously, I've been talking to you guys. I've been talking to all the guys, talking to the friends, and ever since the moment it happened, I was speaking with you guys, just trying to like keep a level head, and but I consider myself a fairly emotional person, and I kind of let things go with how they are. Like I'll make a sad playlist and I'll listen to the sad playlist to force myself to be sad and just deal with it. But some things that I've done, like I would look up these videos on YouTube, and there was this poet that I found, and I'm gonna quote it for the sake of sharing it, because it was just a quote in this guy's poem that I loved, and it made me like more okay or feel like other people are going through breakups in a similar way. And what the quote was, it's by this guy, I want to say his name is Miles Carter. If I remember, and I watched this, I'll link it in the description for anybody who wants to see it. But it's a poem by this guy, Miles Carter. And he says, nostalgia is a liar in the way that it montages our best moments while omitting our truths. And that's the thing that I think I've struggled with the most in this breakup is I look back on all the really good moments. And I can look back on the relationship that I've had with her, and I can say like, but look at that. You know what I mean? Look at that part. That part was fun. That part was really good. I was really happy there.
Yeah.
And what I've loved about having you guys is you remind me, yes, those are all true, but you're forgetting these other moments where you weren't happy sometimes. Right. And so that's what I've loved about having you guys to talk to, is you keep me level headed. That's what I mean by that when I say you guys keep me level headed.
Yeah.
Is you bring me back a little bit.
Yeah. Because during breakups and immediately after breakups, it seems like it's the first thing that comes to mind, right? Because you're missing that person. Yeah. You're thinking of all the good things.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about any of the bad things because you want to keep those bad memories out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true.
Yeah. So no, that quote is like 100% agree.
Yeah. You know what's fucking hard? When you go through the phone and you delete all the photos.
Oh yeah.
Fucking the worst, man. I hate it, dude.
You know how you fix that?
Never take photos.
It's the truth.
Man. Dude, man. It just sends you on another nostalgia trip whenever you do that. I don't know if maybe you learned from one of your previous breakups not to take as many photos.
No, I still take photos. I mean, my phone's kind of shit.
It sucks, dude. Yeah, you fucking iPhone 7
Plus.
No, don't forget the plus. Yeah, man. Like whenever you have to do that after a breakup, that's always a bit of a wreck. Like it's not fun.
Yeah,
because it just reminds you again of all the good stuff, and that's exactly what it is. Because your mind isn't gonna scroll through that and go through like, oh look, that was a bad day. You didn't take a picture of a fucking bad day. You took a picture of a good day, so now everything's a good memory again.
Yeah. No, that kind of reminds me, because like I'll still have pictures on my phone and stuff that I'll eventually delete. Mm-hmm. But I've noticed do you keep a lot of stuff from the breakup, from the relationship?
I keep physical things.
Yeah.
I keep all physical. Like I have a drawer full still that I keep physical things.
Yeah. I just kind of like, I'll have some physical stuff, but it's almost like I'll make sure throughout the relationship that I don't keep too much.
Oh, really? Hey?
Yeah, and it's kind of subconscious.
I don't remember just realizing where I learned this thing, and I thought it was cute, and I've done it ever since. Keeping like movie stubs.
Oh yeah,
movie ticket stubs. I have every movie ticket stub that we went through. It's still in my drawer. This is terrible for anybody who's watching this. They're watching this. This guy's not over this at all. You're right. Right now, I'm not. But not like I keep. Yeah, just only physical things, because those like that to me is a good memory. I don't think there's anything wrong with keeping memories. I think eventually I'm gonna get rid of that stuff. Like I'm not gonna date another person and still have those things. You know what I mean? But I'll get rid of that on my own time. But I don't know. I don't ever think there's a problem with just having a fond memory for yourself.
No. I mean, at the end of the day, they were your friend. Mm. So
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with keeping that stuff, really. I
Yeah.
mean, it may allow the breakup to linger in your mind a little more, but there's
Possibly.
really nothing. I wouldn't think there's anything really wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And I think that it's funny that you mentioned that, because it's like, before saying this right now, I wasn't conscious that I have those things. It's just now
Yeah.
talking in this discussion here. It's like, oh, I do have that shit in there, and I know it's in there.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a little part of my brain that's been like remembering that that's there this whole time. Maybe that's delayed things. But yeah, man. How about you? What do you do to like move through a breakup?
I'm a little different. I mean,
Built different, man. Hashtag built different.
Cut that shit out, man. Fucking corny. But no, when I go through breakups,
It's timeless.
ask me how you spell Canada.
How do you spell Canada?
DRAKE.
Dude, if I could one day in the future have DJ Khaled on this podcast. Anyway, sorry, go ahead. You're a bit different in the way that you do it.
With coping with breakups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I even, it's hard to say that I do cope with them, because I feel like I've just evolved into keeping everything internal in a sense. So like where people might share right away with like friends or family that they've broken up and stuff, I've kind of moved away from that. So I'm just kind of keeping everything in my head. I don't know. That doesn't sound
I'm
too
nodding my head right now
Yeah.
because I know when you broke up.
Yeah.
She called me first. I heard from her before I heard from you.
Talking to my ex?
Yeah, dude. His ex and I are friends, by the way.
Yeah.
But
This
I
is
found
news to
that
me.
really, really funny that I heard it from her before you.
Yeah, no.
I didn't hear what you said, so I know it's
Or
something
you
funny.
can check it later. But yeah, no, I'll keep. Well, I mean, that was the most recent breakup. That was the first time I didn't say anything to anybody other than my family, because
Sure.
obviously she
And she was really close with your family.
yeah, she's over a lot. So yeah, when I cope with my breakups, I kind of just kind of make sure I can handle everything myself. I do kind of put things and the blame on myself a little bit too.
Mm.
But when I cope with it, I make sure to start working out more.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I feel like for me, it's important to feel good about myself. Like when I'm not feeling good about myself mentally, at least I can feel good about myself physically.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll work out more. I mean, obviously you go through like the sad music phase, listen
Yeah.
to a lot of Cuddy.
Yeah.
More so after the breakup.
Yeah. Big Cuddy guy.
Big
Cabs.
big-
Very big Cuddy guy.
Shout outs to Cuddy. Please come on the podcast.
Maybe one day.
But yeah, that's been the main thing recently. Just
yeah.
focusing on myself. And then I mean, I do talk to my brothers and my family a little bit, but I don't really go out of my way to talk to people, like, you know, that I won't go out of my way to share how I'm feeling and stuff, even more so just in general.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed that, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't sound too healthy, but I feel like
You manage it really well, though.
I've come to terms with that.
Yeah, and it's that's your coping style, I guess, right?
Yeah.
It's all very internalized, and you don't put things on other people to help you cope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels like, because in my first breakup, when I was going out with this girl, somehow, or like, you know, sometimes the couple will kind of be close with the group of friends,
Mm-hmm.
and in that relationship we weren't. So when I came out of the relationship, I didn't really have anyone to talk to much other than my older brothers. But again, I didn't feel like going out of my way to sharing those feelings. So I feel like that has, I don't know if I want to say helped me, but it's kind of hardened me in the way that, like, I don't feel the need to share my feelings anymore. I don't really want the attention.
Interesting. So it's kind of like you know you can handle it.
Yeah, I try to convince myself that I know I can handle it. I mean, everyone's gonna be fine at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I convince myself that I know I can handle it, and it's just a rough ride until you can get back on your feet.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I want to go back to something that you had talked about with working out. I've joked already that you're really fit, blah, blah, blah. But it's funny that you say that, where it's like when you're feeling these sort of sadder emotions, or these emotions that you go through when you're going through a breakup, going to the gym, I see that as something that you can control. You said it as like you become like physically strong or physically fit, and then that helps your like mental fitness in a way.
Yeah, it sort of, well, I mean, when I think about it, it's like if I can't feel too as good as I normally feel mentally about myself, at least I can feel physically good about myself.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
It's on the last episode with Jesse, a friend of mine, Mike, had left a comment talking about how when he's going through depressive thoughts, he can find things that he can control and that he can actually like manage. And that helps with those feelings. And I feel like that's the same for me, at least with the gym, is it's like, it's something that when I get like stressed out or when I get bothered by something, I could go there for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and just be there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so for me, I think that's the advantage I see, is, or at least why I think a lot of guys sort of default to going to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
You know, once you go through a breakup, a lot of men end up going to the gym and they end up being in better shape and everything. And it becomes like a good focus for them, because I think it takes your mind off of things.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. At least for me, it does. But that's interesting to hear for you, that it's sort of like, I don't know, you can feel physically good too instead of mentally good.
Yeah.
I've never thought about it that way.
Yeah. Because a lot of people will be like, oh, I want to look good. So, I mean, they'll be like, oh, I want to look good so my ex can look at me like, oh, he's in good shape.
Right,
and then
sure,
I'll just kind of feel good about that. But I feel like subconsciously it's more about just feeling good about yourself at the time. Whenever you're at the gym, you don't have to focus on that. You can just kind of let out whatever you need to.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just feel good about yourself. Basically.
Yeah. You can have that sort of like sense of accomplishment in that day.
Exactly.
Where you're like, this was a good thing. This wasn't a bad thought that I was having for a while. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll touch back then, and this will lead into another question. You had talked about how in one of your first breakups, and I guess it was the first breakup, your friend circles weren't sort of connected at all.
No. Yeah.
And so when you went through the breakup, that didn't present itself as a problem, but it also meant that you were left, I don't know, you said you were talking to your brothers more in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. So, the relationship, when I was in that relationship, I don't think even once did I hang out with my girlfriend at the time also with my friends.
Interesting.
Like, I can't remember one single time where that happened. So when that breakup happened, I can speak to my friends about that, right? There was no opportunity there.
I got you. Yeah. Okay. So it's like, because they hadn't seen that relationship firsthand at all. Yeah. What are you going to talk to them about? Yeah. Right. Yeah. They won't really know anything of what you went through. Yeah. And then that was different the next 2 times.
It was. Yeah. Yeah. The next 2 times, especially the last time, it was, a lot of it was hanging out with my girlfriend and our friends or my friends. Yeah. My friends. I mean, it's mostly with us. Yeah.
Yeah. That can make things harder sometimes too, if the person you were in a relationship became friends with people in that friend group. Yes. Right. Because I don't know, I feel like that can sometimes put the friends in kind of an awkward position as well. Right. Where it's like, okay, I got to support both of these people going through a breakup with each other. Right. I would say, from my perspective, I think that both you and your most recent ex have done a really, really good job of handling that dynamic, coming out of it, where you had eventually made a shared group of friends to some extent, you know, at least some of the people. Yeah. So I'd say done again a really good job of handling that. I don't know, I look up to you for way too much of this breakup shit.
But I mean, that's just what you see, right? I mean, there's probably, I mean, there's like a tiny bit going on behind the scenes. So it's not as clean as
rose tinted glasses on my end, eh?
Yeah.
You got on the fucking
5%
clear lens, 5%. Man, dude, that was a really good album. I don't know if you're referencing Travis Scott. Yeah, okay, yeah. Really, really good. I remember us on the drive to Calgary.
Were we blasting
listening
it
to
out?
Dude, because it came out the day that we went to Calgary. So we went to for the people listening and watching, we went to Chasing Summer Music Festival. What was it, 2 years ago then? I guess it would have been 2018.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2018. And we took a vehicle. We actually rented it. It was a Tesla Model X. Fucking sick. Really
So sick.
cool car.
Falcon
Anybody?
doors.
Oh, man.
That was sick.
If anybody gets a chance to drive a Tesla, drive a Falcon, definitely do it. But anyways, it's a nightmare for road trips, by the way, especially if you're going long distance. Holy shit. I remember the first stop.
I mean, the drive was smooth as hell, but
but terrible experience.
Yeah.
So
not
the year before we had gone and we took a gas vehicle, we ripped it. We went from here in Vancouver to Calgary. Where did we go in Calgary? Where was it? No. Where even is it?
in Calgary.
Calgary. Oh, Alberta is the province.
Yes.
Oh my God. We went from here to Calgary in 9 hours
Yeah.
with a gas vehicle.
Yeah,
We went
just
fast.
under.
We went really fast, and we left like late at night. The next year, then we take this electric car. We take the Tesla, and really, really great car. Super cool, fast, nice features, very roomy, blah, blah, blah. You got to fucking charge the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you need to stop, you're stopping for like an hour. It doesn't matter that it's a supercharger. You're stopping for like an hour. And the first year that we took it, we get to Hope. It was Hope, right?
Yeah.
I want to say it was Hope. And we get to Hope, and it's middle of the night. It's like, I want to say maybe by the time that we left, it was like, what, 2 a.m.?
Yeah, I was around there.
Middle of the night, and we're there in Hope, and we get to the charging station, and this is our first time charging the car. So we plug it in, and we're like, okay, let's go
We
get
plug
food.
it in, right?
I plug it in. And we go and we get food, and we went to, it was only McDonald's was open, and it was drive-through only. So first of all, we're in a group of 6 of us, and we go up to the drive-through window walking, and we convinced them. We called them first. We're like, hey, because they told us first, like, oh, we can only take cars. So I called them, like, I swear this is us. Like, we just need food. So they let us get food, which was sweet. And then we come back, and it's been like 45 minutes. So we figured car's ready to go. We get back to the car. I hadn't plugged it in all the way. It was kind of like a little bit out, and it just ruined the rest of the drive, because after that, I remember we were doing short charges at every place.
Mm-hmm.
And so rather than skipping charging stations, which was the original plan, now we're stopping at every single one for like 30 minutes. And it turned what was a 9-hour drive last year to 17 hours.
Was it 17?
It was 17 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking shoot me. And so that was terrible. But what was I even saying? Falcon Wing Doors. Travis Scott.
Yeah.
So that year, on the day that we left, Astroworld came out, and I remember listening to it at least like 5 times on the drive. It was It's a really good album, and I think like that's just like a core memory stuck in my head. But yeah.
Solid
Anyways,
memories, so.
really good memory.
Yeah.
Really, really great memories with all
Road
these
trip.
guys. Oh, road trip. Yeah, man.
Don't take a Tesla on a road trip.
Do not take a Tesla on a road trip.
It's
moral of the story.
Yeah, it is roomy, but like I was like sitting, even in the passenger seat. It's like not. It's not.
Yeah.
You can't sleep in it.
It's not like that. It would be interesting. Like, you've seen the specs for the new Roadster or whatever.
No.
That can go the whole distance from here to Calgary on a single charge.
Really?
On a single charge.
That's
that could be
insane.
interesting. You know, that would be way better experience. Maybe 2 charges. I don't know. Whatever it was.
Yeah.
Way less than what we did.
Chasing Summer 2020. No, 2022.
2022. We'll go Chasing Summer. Let's go back then to my point there about having a huge tangent. Having like shared circles of friends. At the end of the day, the person that you're in a relationship with, the person that you're committed to, they're your friend too.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so I think something that men have talked about, I've talked about it with all of you. I've heard other people talk about it, and I hear a lot of different opinions on it, is the idea of being friends with an ex, and whether or not you think that that is workable, doable, if you should expect it, not expect it. So I'm curious what you think about that from your own experiences, from your current experience.
Repeat the question.
Do you think you could be friends with an ex? Oh, man. Fuck.
Ideally, no. Okay. The question is, do you think you can be friends with an ex? So, no, unfortunately.
Really? Yeah.
Well, I'm more so actually in the process of trying that, experimenting, trying that out. I mean, it's a very slow process. Ideally, I would like to say, yes, everyone should be able to be friends with an ex, depending on how that breakup ended. Yeah, because they were your friend at one point.
Yeah.
You're doing fucking everything together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but through my experiences so far, I have not been able to do so. I mean, I've been able to be like acquaintances with an ex where we may like send a Snapchat here and there once every couple months.
Yeah.
And we're on good terms. Wouldn't really hang out with them often.
Sure. But that's not like being friends. That's just being friendly.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, just being friendly. I don't know. I don't know if it is possible in my experiences. I mean, I'll let you know maybe in a few months. Let's
sure.
See.
Yeah.
It's good.
Come back for round 2.
Yeah.
So what do you think now? They're back together.
But yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of feelings and emotions tied into it. So it's hard. I don't know if we have any friends that have been able to stay friends with an ex. Do we?
Shit. No.
I'm trying to think
about even just in like our main group of friends. No. That's I feel like that answers the question in itself, but it's funny. Like my thoughts on it were sort of what you're saying, where it's like you were friends. Why can't you be? And for a long time, my brain wanted it to be a inevitability that you will end up friends, that you had to. Like if you didn't, that was the choice, was that you weren't. I think thinking about it now and reflecting on it some more over the past while, I'm becoming okay with the idea that it might not happen, and that shit, sometimes that's just too hard. And it's funny, in talking with my ex since the breakup, she had said something the other day that kind of stuck with me, and it's sort of why this is now perpetuating in my mind and I'm going over it again. She had said how like you get along really well. We got along really, really well, almost too well. And so it's like anytime you expose yourself to like trying to be friends again, it's so easy to just bring up other emotions, and then that makes it a way worse situation than it needs to be. And for what? Right? Like what's the benefit of doing that to yourselves? And there's not. I think this goes back to something you said earlier, where it's so easy to want to have those feelings again because you miss it.
Yeah.
But you gotta stay strong. You gotta diamond hands. You gotta hold GME. You gotta stay away from
to the
that.
Fucking moon,
to the
baby.
Fucking moon. Yeah, I think that's it. Maybe is that it's so easy for me to want to keep that part of the relationship.
Yeah.
But I think the reality is sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
And it makes me sad sometimes. I've definitely gone through many emotions about this.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth trying. But my opinion has changed in the last while, where before it was like, before I thought that you should try and you should expect it to happen if you try. Now it's like, try, see if it'll work, if that's something that you genuinely want. And if it doesn't, you have to be okay that it won't. Because otherwise that's going to bog you down even more.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't go in hoping that you can hope that it's nothing wrong with hoping that it's going to work, but you can't go in expecting it to work.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's where my opinion has changed, which is too bad. It's not too bad. It's fine. I don't know why I'm saying it's too bad. It's fine. But like, I don't know. It just, it's crazy, man. It's just crazy, man. It's crazy, man. I don't know. I get hung up on this stuff quite a bit.
Yeah, no, because you're a good person.
Yeah, but like I don't care, man. Yeah, I don't like the idea of abandoning a relationship. Of just saying like, nah, that was it.
Yeah,
like if
time's up.
If there were good,
your time is up. My time is now.
Fucking terrible to me. And it's like if you had those good moments, why can't you just be friends? But I don't know. Like,
it's just
sometimes there's too much more investment there, where you're just gonna get hurt by trying to do it again and again.
Yeah, I mean, all these relationships are built on the foundation of like being intertwined,
Like
almost
compatible. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
You're, yeah.
Yeah. So being friends with this person after is something that you guys have never experienced before, and it's so easy to fall back into that
Mm-hmm.
relationship type of thing. So it's kind of uncharted territory for everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know of anyone that has been able to stay or become friends with their ex after successfully
Mm-hmm.
without having any feelings. So unfortunately, it's
It is what it is.
It is what it
It
is.
is. Man, nah, it's tough though either way.
Mhm.
It's funny. There's I'm gonna throw out another quote.
Yes.
This is actually one of the quotes that made me start this podcast. I'd sent this to my friend Janelle, and Janelle had said, "Wow, that's interesting. I've never heard a perspective of a man."
That
like
sounds
on this
just like
topic."
Janelle.
And she's like, "Oh wow, I've never heard a man's perspective on love like this." And it was a person talking about love. And then that clicked in with my idea of having men talking about candid, open things. That was like, oh wow, if women wanted to know something, they can ask. So shout out Janelle for being part of making this happen. Rockstar. Wow. Holy shit. She's gonna love this episode, man. Anyways, I'd sent her a video of Skepta with Julie Adenuga, who is his sister, and I didn't know that, which is really cool because she's like a Beats One radio host for Apple Music. Anyways, so Skepta was on there and he was talking about his perspective on love. She had asked him, like, how do you view love? Because growing up as his sister, she's always seen him as someone who sort of like shied away from relationships or didn't want relationships or have relationships in his life, or talk about them very much. And what he had said was the way that he looks at love is, it's kind of funny. It's kind of like a pessimistic view too, the way that you've talked about breakups and everything and relationships. But the quote is that if you love someone, the general idea of the quote is that if you love someone and you step away from the relationship and you break up and you don't ever talk to them again, you don't ever see them again, you pretend that never existed, then that's not love. What that was a sense of security that you felt within the safe haven of that person. And I think that fits in with what we're sort of saying here, is that you have a level of comfort with these people, and that's what you can so easily miss when you first break up with them. But if it was really love, that's where maybe my, I guess, standpoint comes in on this whole idea of being friends. If it was really love, you can continue to have a relationship afterwards. It's not just a feeling of comfort that you miss. It's the friendship that you miss. That's the way that I hope I'm feeling. And I hope I'm not conflating that feeling with me just missing the comfort with this person. I really hope that it is that I am missing the friendship, because I would so love for that to continue to be part of my life.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, it's like, no, I haven't heard that before. So it's hard to distinguish between what is comfort and then what is the
exactly.
the love
and that's
part,
what I
right?
took away from that, is like, what is that?
Yeah.
How do you know what's what?
Yeah,
you know,
no.
it's like, I feel like it's one of those things only time would end up sort of revealing that to you, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, you're only going to figure it out just the more time you go along without it. Yeah. Relationships.
We don't need no stinking relationships.
Man, that's all I needed to get in there. Dude.
Nice.
Oh, if you're looking for music for breakups, he's talked about Kid Cudi.
I think that's
it.
I mean, I'll listen to
that's
other
all I need.
I mean, I'll listen to a bunch of shit. Like I'll listen to you sent me that Tyler the Creator album that we were listening to in Mexico.
Oh my
911.
God.
Boredom. Those are sick.
What? This is gonna piss me off. Is it called Where a Flower Blooms, or where the
Something like
where
that.
a flower
You should know. The hell.
I'm gonna Google it. Yeah, Where the Flower Blooms. No, that's the song. It's Flower Boy.
Flower Boy.
Yes, Flower
there it
Boy.
is.
Fuck. Dude, that was a really good memory too. I remember that night. That was amazing. We were in Mexico. We used to do an annual Mexico trip with the boys.
R.I.P.
All right, fucking P to the trips, man. And we used to do an annual Mexico trip, and we would go, and it was just all the guys. And I think I've understated the size of our friend group. I think maybe I've mentioned it in another episode. If I haven't, there's like 22 of us that are in that like core friend group, which is fucking awesome. 22 guys that have been friends since high school and continue to stay in touch and can continue to do shit with each other.
Yeah.
And we would go on an annual trip to Mexico. We went to Cabo a couple times. And I remember the night very clearly. We had been out at El Squid Row. Shout out to the boys. We were at Squid Row. And we come back to the resort afterwards, and it was yourself, myself, and
there was like
I want to say maybe Troy. No,
I don't know. I remember
it might have been someone else there.
Might have been. I don't know if it was Seb, but like they were like I think they might have been asleep
there was
on
like
one of the lawn chairs.
Yeah, they were asleep on the chair.
Yeah,
and it was just you and me.
Yeah.
So one of the friends had passed out. Maybe it was Seb. We'll go with Seb. And he had passed out on the lawn chair, like on the beach. Like the resort had like a beach part, right? And you could go down there and they had chairs out. And then this middle of the night, like literally like what, like 3 a.m. or something like that, probably. No. Did we catch the sunset or was it? This is the last night.
Yeah, it was the last night.
This was the last night.
I think we were catching the sunset.
We were catching the sunset. It was just the last sunset. And then we were going to Squid Row.
Yes.
That's right. There it is.
Yeah.
It was the last sunset of the trip and it was beautiful. We were sitting there and then I started playing that album. I started playing Flower Boy and you really liked it. And I thought that was cool. You really liked it because like, oh, I showed Cav something cool.
Yeah, no, I still listen to those songs.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, for me, like my go-tos for getting over this breakup in particular have been Giveon. If anybody listens to Giveon or doesn't, you should, regardless of if you're going through a breakup. Just an amazing artist. Always Frank Ocean. Kiana Lede has a really good song. I want to say it's called X. There's this really, really good song, and it kills me whenever I listen to it, and you should check it out sometime. It's called Come Down by Joseph, and Joseph is spelt kind of funny. It's like Joesef or something like that.
Yosef.
And it's really, really good, but it kind of like captures how I've felt about this breakup. Anyways, music is great, and that's going to fit into a whole other episode sometime. I'm definitely going to get into talking about music and how men use music in our day-to-day lives and get through shit with it.
Yeah.
Fucking put me in the gym. I never listen to EDM until I go to the gym, and then all of a sudden I'm fucking raving.
No, it's right after breakups I'll avoid EDM actually.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, unless it's like old school stuff I used to listen to that keeps me like in a good mood.
Sure.
Otherwise I'll listen to if it's in the gym after a breakup, I'll listen to like old school stuff or rap. For sure. Old school rap.
Interesting.
Keep me on a little bit of an angry side.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You're a little bit mad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you, Kebs. I really appreciate you coming on the show today.
No, thanks for having
sharing
me.
your experience. Hey, man. Anytime.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah. You're so handsome. Shout out to my mom on this episode. My mom has a crush on Kabir, and rightly so. I do too. Thank you for everybody who checked out this episode. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, which I didn't even say this at the start again. I keep forgetting. This is on there now for everybody who's watching on YouTube. This is on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can check it out there too. But if you're listening and if you had any thoughts about this episode, feel free to pop over to the YouTube video and just leave a comment, and I read every one of them because there's not a lot of them. And I can get back to you, no problem.
We're getting there.
But yeah, thank you everybody for listening. This has been a really good conversation, and I like this, and I think I learned things that I wasn't expecting to learn even in this conversation today. So yeah, thank you, Cabs.
No, it's my pleasure.
Yeah,
thanks for having me on Around One Fern.
Hey, Around One Fern. The shout out to the bonsai. It's not even real bonsai, everybody.
It's not?
No, absolutely not. Cool. Well, thank you very much one more time, and I will see everybody on the next episode. Peace.